Good morning. This is the first in a series of YouTube videos about conscious evolution. In order to grow and change consciously, we need to understand that we are energetic beings that we inherit patterns of energy and manifest patterns of energy that reflect our soul. Many of you know this as genetics. Our parents were arthritic, our parents had heart disease, and now we have it. How do we change that? Arthritis, we're going to rub some balm on our knees, we're going to take some supplements, we're going to walk, and yet those patterns are resistant to completely going away. That little nagging neck pain, it's so annoying. How do we change this? How do we become pain-free? We need to let go of the patterns of our ancestors or manifest them in a more balanced way. You've seen cultures all around the world, medicine men burning smoke and chanting and blowing smoke on people. And in Western society, that was considered naive and maybe funny. But in fact, when you burn certain herbs, their signature energy is released. And that energy, when mixed with your energy field, your patterns of energy, your etheric body, I would call it, which is, oh my God. So that's my dog, sorry. So when we burn certain substances, they change our energy pattern. As I was saying, there's a long history of burning substances that is medicinal and traditional and therapeutic. And I'd like to go into this a little more. It falls under the title of smudging, burning incense. Those are the names that I know. When you think about it, when people needed to get warm with fire, it was natural to put in dried substances that were around, like sagebrush or chaparral. It's a very natural evolution. The resin from certain trees, and I can't say I know how it all evolved, but there are customs all over the world where in meditation herbs are burned, tree resins, tree resins are burned, plants are burned all around the world for their energetic effect. If we go back to a very famous story about Christ, who received from the Magi's frankincense, myrrh, and gold. Frankincense and myrrh are tree resins, burned all over the world in religious ceremony, also for perfume. But it is my understanding that frankincense, when burned, helps us connect to our spiritual search. It's turning towards the programmer, the divine energy that put us here, and trying to understand and make a connection. So it's the first step on a spiritual path. And if we look at myrrh, the effect of myrrh is to clarify our spiritual path, to help us align our talents, our abilities, and understand our path on earth. So these are two very powerful resins which continue to be used all around the world, but I think some of the real meaning behind them is being lost. In the Greek Orthodox Church, benzoin is burned. Benzoin is a resin that is used as a fixative and a preservative. It's used in cosmetics. But when it's burned, it helps an individual or a group to experience oneness with divine energy. So those are just 3 very powerful resins that are losing, the meaning behind them is somewhat being lost, and I think it's important to understand because for our planet to evolve consciously, we need to shift from a Newtonian cause and effect, the apple fell from the tree because of gravity, to understand the research of Einstein, which is 100 years old, which says energy and matter are interchangeable, or to go deeper, the apple fell from the tree because it was programmed with a life cycle by a master programmer. I mean, people get afraid of terms, but God, or divine energy, or the master programmer, if you will, is a much better explanation of why the apple fell from the tree. And in fact is the explanation of your life as well. You're not here because your parents had sex and made you. It's much deeper than that. And it's profound to know this, because it is the deeper meaning of life, and just looking at superficial reasons is not enough to understand our existence.